Hello everybody, my name is TCG, and today we're going to talk about Bloodborne. This game is amazing. I want to let everybody know that if you have not played this game, what are you doing with your life? Go ahead and just throw away your PlayStation or your Xbox or your PC. Oh wait. But all depressing jokes aside, this game is a masterpiece, and I suggest anyone to go play this on their own before watching this video. There will be lots of spoilers, so you have been warned. So with all that aside, this video is about my experience with the game and nothing else. There's not going to be too much lore in the video, which I think that would make the spoilers a little worse. The spoilers I'm going to show y'all is me fighting the boss and the cutscenes of the boss. And I hope y'all enjoy my experience with the Bloodborne DLC. And if you like what you see, please like, subscribe, because I will try to make more videos like this. It's gonna take me a while, definitely with me not having a job. But besides that, I'm gonna try to make, more content. I do have a list of content I want to make, and hopefully I make it. So, yeah. So to really start this video off, I wanted to show people the Choleric Beast, which is a boss you fight in the original game. He's supposed to be the tutorial boss, but in the DLC, he is a optional boss. We'll get back to him a little later, but just know he's a little bit more difficult to fight in the DLC than the original Choleric Beast, and takes a lot more effort to fight him than the original Choleric Beast. Just know I had my fun fighting him, and he was real playful of a guy to fight. Yeah. Because I mean, like, come on, man. Look at that. That's a PS4 game on a PS5 console. Just imagine what they can do with a remake of this game. They can make so much money. God. But besides that, I want to talk about some of the enemies in this game. And I will say, I am quite disappointed about some of the enemies in the DLC because they were nothing but just copy and paste enemies from the original base game, which is kind of boring for a DLC, but I didn't too much mind it. But the one enemy type I did indeed love was the old hunters. They were really interesting and really cool to fight. I felt like you were just fighting yourself. It felt really good to experience, and it really gives you like this thing of you have a match to fight, like you have two even matches, like y'all even on both sides, and that's why I think the hunters made a good enemy in this DLC. I'm actually excited to talk about this boss fight that's about to happen. I like how it kind of sets up this walkway with blood and dead bodies, which really sets a interesting vibe, like you're about to enter something big, like you're about to fight something big, and I thought it was so cool. I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting, and I do apologize for not getting the cutscene to show y'all, but I promise y'all there's like other cutscenes I'm gonna show y'all, so hopefully y'all do enjoy that. And God, this music is amazing. Here, I'm just gonna let this play a little bit, then I'll, I say, like, a couple more stuff about this boss fight.
You were at my side all along. My true mentor. My guiding moonlight.
When I first seen this, it was like, bro, that's cool to see him return back to his old hunter self, regaining all of his memories, fighting like a true hunter, and not like the beast we was fighting in first phase. Like, bro, little cutscenes like this makes me feel like I'm in the moment. In a way, you know what? I just let the whole thing play, and just let y'all enjoy the music. After you kill the Great Ludwig, you can get a sword and talk to his head, totally not creepy. And he has some dialogue to tell you, and I go ahead and let y'all listen to that for yourselves.
Tell me, good hunter of the church, have you seen the light? Are my church hunters the honorable Spartans? I hoped they would be. Ah, good. That is a relief. To know I did not suffer such denigration for nothing. Thank you kindly. Now I may sleep in peace. Even in this darkest of nights, I see the moonlight.
So after you're done murdering Ludwig, you take this elevator, and I'm going to say this part of the game, like this, in my opinion, if you like hospitals, good for you, good for you. I'm not too much of a fan of hospitals, especially if there's like an area in this game that already looks like this. But that's why this area wasn't too much of my favorite, because in the default game, there's like an area like this, not exactly like this, but an area like this, and that's why this wasn't like too much my favorite part of the game. But in a way, you know, you face like these meatballs and you talk to some of these meatball NPCs and you kill some of these meatball NPCs. By kill, I meant you kill a lot that just hurl up on you. I don't know. This place just felt really boring. I just don't know, and there was nothing too much going on. This place was my least favorite, but it wasn't boring at a point that it stopped you. Like it stopped you, like stopped the gameplay, like kept like stopped the action. It kept you on your feet, like it kept the action going, and I wasn't too disappointed about that. But what I am disappointed, which we're gonna head to next, is the next boss we face. Actually, he's so disappointing. I'm just gonna like speed up the video so you don't have to suffer. So this next boss fight is one of my favorites boss fights, and I was actually really excited to face this boss. So I'm just going to talk about her at the very end of the video because her theme song is a banger, and I'm just gonna let this whole boss fight play. Y'all enjoy.
A corpse should be left well alone. Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly. Only an honest death will kill you now. Liberate you from your wild curiosity.
that boss fight right there was the most beautifulest boss fight I have ever played in a game, and I generally mean it. I generally mean it. I mean, we have Elden Ring, which is probably one of the most popular games right now at the moment, but nothing could fit a real well like boss, a real well boss that can fight just like you, mimics just like you, pretty much has your fighting style, and pretty much are like into equal terms. Like I like a boss fight that has like an equal term to it that y'all fight exactly the same. Like those are the type of boss fights that has like a special touch to it that I think more games need to get on, and not just you need to do this and do that, or there's like some kind of special cheese for this boss, or like a gimmick boss. Like it felt really like perfect. It felt like you was actually fighting another hunter, and that was like really amazing to like fight, like to go to, like the process that was like really amazing. And that's why she's like one of my favorite bosses, and that's why I think Melania is one of my favorite bosses too to fight with. And it's just she just tops the cake for best like boss of the year. So I think she's like the main reason why I like Melania. Bro, I was just yapping for a good almost half an hour about Elden Ring and Melania and stuff, so I kind of had to like cut that. That's why that like little part sounds weird. So I kind of had to like cut that because I was just straight up talking about just Melania and Elden Ring, and it took up like half of the video. And I didn't want just this video of me talking about Elden Ring, so that's why that little part sounds a little like weird, like you hear this and that, that. So I had to like cut myself off. In a way, the next area we're gonna go into is like a gloomy swamp area, which is my second favorite area in the DLC. I know all the areas look dark and gloomy. This one has something like a little special going with it. You fight some enemies that perfectly fit the vibe for this area, and you find some enemies, like some mini bosses, and they ain't too hard to deal with if you don't have a max out. Like if you have a max out weapon, then they're not like too hard to deal with. But if your weapon's not maxed out, then I guess you're gonna have a fun time, right? You're gonna feel like the mini boss is the actual boss, but in a way, nothing's too like copy and paste from this area, and that's why I really like enjoyed this area. Nothing's like not like really the same. Like there's some different stuff in this area, which that's why I think I had like a little special charm to it, in my opinion. And I think that's why I personally like the area, because it wasn't like the same and it felt different. And I like when DLCs do stuff that's different. That's why this part was my favorite area. There's not too many NPCs to interact with in this area. The enemies ain't too difficult, like I said, but not too hard, just right. And, that good stuff. We're about to actually enter the next boss fight, which I want to say some stuff about this boss fight, but I'll let his intro like play through. So I'm not gonna lie, I had to use this cheesy weapon. This weapon is a very overpowered weapon in the DLC. He was too difficult to fight with the bloody katana. He was too difficult to fight with the axe. Personally, I'm a big simp for the axe. It's one of the slower weapons, but does a lot of damage. And you got like this little spin attack, which I am a simp for the axe. The axe will always be my knight and one of my favorite weapons. But in a way, he was really hard of a boss to fight than the two others in the DLC, in my opinion. It would have probably took me weeks, maybe days, maybe maybe a year, who knows, just to fight him without this, like without using this overpowered DLC weapon. I love how hard he was to fight, though. He was like his attack patterns where like if you stand behind him, he will do like this behind back shot. Yeah, a yo, right? A yo. But he does like this like back shot. Like he does these different pattern attacks that pretty much he's like he can counter like you going behind him. He can counter you if you try to like do some silly stuff. He's pretty much like one of those really hard, difficult like bosses to fight if you don't know what you're doing. He has a difficult mechanic if you don't learn it. And especially with something you don't even know when he's going to attack. Like when you don't know when he's gonna attack is why I think is like the hardest thing about this boss. Because he's like a attack pattern that sometimes is really hard to keep track of if you don't know what he's gonna do. And I really enjoyed it. He was probably my second like favorite boss I encountered in the game. Like not like in the whole game, like second. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm gonna say about him. I'm gonna let this boss fight play through, and yeah.
Sweet child of Kos, returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea, accepting of all that there is and can be.
So that was my experience and thoughts with the DLC. Has lots of offers for a DLC, even so short, but sometimes even the short stuff can make such a great DLC experience. it didn't drag its welcome. All 3 locations had something unique about them, with a feeling like you discovered something a little new. All 3 bosses, not going to call the Living Failure a boss, because it was so boring and felt like the Living Failure, like the god came to say it, the Living Failure was a drag. But it's a pretty boring, decent boss, I guess. But the Cleric Beast is an optional boss. I'm not going to overlook him as a boss. That kind of sounds weird, but he's like something that you would put like on the cherry on top. And this game will forever be my favorite DLC compared to other Soul games. And I want to thank all y'all from watching this far, and I want to thank you from enjoying what you was watching and just sticking around for the ride. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this video here by fighting the Cleric Beast, which is a very difficult version of the tutorial Cleric Beast, which he's a very fun guy to fight against. I would prefer y'all fight him, and I will leave this here. Everyone have a cool day and enjoy the rest of the video. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that stutter in. Anyway, have a nice and have a cool day.